Well, today I'm going to attempt to make lasagna. But unlike most lasagnas, I'm going to make it with a white sauce, and instead of the ricotta cheese that everybody uses. You know, ricotta cheese has a lot of milk in it. A lot of people don't know that. And we're going to use milk in creating this white sauce. So the first thing we got to do is to start heating this pot. And I'm going to use about a half a stick of butter. Let me see if I can get it out. I'm playing this by ear, so you got to bear with me. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I like to try things that are new. Plus, a lot of times you don't have ricotta cheese and you want to make lasagna. And this is another way to do it. Let's hope it comes out good. So the first thing we do here is we're adding the butter. Now when the butter is all melted, I'm going to put a half a cup of flour in there, and I'm going to mix it in very well. So let's see what we can do. Put the flour in. And I'm going to whisk it. I'm going to whisk it in. Make a low flame on this one. You got to make it look like a sauce. See how that looks like sort of like an egg? Well, that's what we want. A nice sauce. Mixes up real nice. Keep mixing it. Oh yeah. It's almost ready now. Put the milk in there. Now I'm putting in, it looks like 6 ounces of milk. And again, I'm going to mix it thoroughly in there. Medium to low flame is fine. And to that, I'm going to put in a little Parmesan cheese. This is actually 3 cheeses. That's all I have on hand, so I'm going to use that. And this is going to reduce. You got to keep whisking it round and around. Get a little more cheese. Just want to make it a little thicker. Now you can see it's thickening up. This is good. I like it. There you go. Nice. This is going to become what they call a white sauce. I'm using it instead of the ricotta cheese. Now it's going to need a little salt and pepper, so we'll just put the pepper in first. And then I'm going to mix in a little salt. Again, we want to whisk this. I don't want to burn it, so I'm bringing it down. Wow, it is getting thick. I'm thinking maybe I should add a little more milk to this. Now I added about another 2 ounces of milk. And now I'm going to add a little nutmeg. That gives it a nice little taste. Just a little extra. No, just enough. That's looking good. And here we have our white sauce. Now, I put some chopped meat in the frying pan. I gotta caramelize it. Gotta make it turn brown. You don't want it pinkish. That you don't want. You don't want to overburn it. But you want to keep chopping it. The bigger pan you have, the better, because it caramelizes better. It browns better. See? Just keep doing that. And I'm just going to, in the other pot, I'm going to put an onion, some olive oil, some garlic, salt and pepper. I'll start making my sauce, my meat sauce. It's come out nice. Now here I'm gonna, in the pot, that's probably enough, some olive oil, and let's start cooking that. And try to caramelize that a little bit. Just make sure that you move the onions around nice. You get them going. Now we're gonna caramelize these onions. They're turning like yellow, and just before they're like burnt, not really burnt, but just to start to brown, they're ready. Once they get close to that, you're gonna put the garlic in here, and the garlic then, see, it burns real quickly. So you want to put that in after this starts caramelizing, and we'll do that in just a few seconds. Meanwhile, I'm going back here. Now let's keep chopping this up. I want that meat nice and brown. No big chunks. No big chunks. You don't want something like this. You want little pieces. The trick is little pieces. Now the onions are coming along nicely. Go over to the chopped meat. We're going to add a little salt there. I'll take some of the water out of it. It's almost where you want it. Might as well have a little pepper. Again, you want these nice and brown. And they're almost there. We're going to mash them down nicely. Those little pieces, you don't want that. That you don't want. takes a bit of work, but nothing good comes from laziness. Go over, see how we're doing with the onions. They're coming along nicely. Now I don't have any fresh garlic, so I'm just going to use some jar garlic that I have over here. Use as much as you want. That looks pretty good. Like a little more. And then you're going to spread out, same thing. You want to get, the idea is you want to get all that flavor into the olive oil. That's what's going to go into the meat, the chopped meat, when I throw it in. And that's what you want. Now again, I'm going to put a little bit of pepper here. And we'll put a little salt. That's enough. Oh, that smells good. That smells real good. Now I use my my blender here to, I had whole tomatoes, peeled tomatoes, and I just made a little puree out with it. And we're going to put this in here. So I think we're going to put the oh jeepers, I think we're going to put the well, we're going to pour this in. Here comes the puree. Okay, now that's looking good. But you want to thicken it up. Now I out of the freezer, I had this bag here. Okay. Just get this out. This is tomato paste. I had that in the freezer. Not exactly old. That's good. So we're going to mix that in there. Because the last thing you want is something, gooey. You want a thick paste. Oh yeah. The thicker the better. You see how we're doing over here. Not bad. Not bad. I'm just bring it up just a little bit the flame because I'm going to take it out in a few seconds. But anytime you bring the flame up, you got to make sure that you're, you keep everything moving. You don't want to burn anything. And this is looking good. I actually like it a little darker than that. But you'll get there. Mash it down, it'll brown a lot faster. That's why I like these iron pans. They're, you can chop away on them. You're not going to do any damage. Now here's another handy tool, these little scrapers. And you got a sharp edge on it, so I really want to chop it up finely. I could do this in the iron pan. I would never do this in a stick pan because I'd ruin it, but not here. That'll really get it nicely diced up, chopped up, ready to put in the sauce, and that's what you want. So if you have one of these tools, not only for lifting like chopped onions and other things and tossing them in the pan, but this one I got on Amazon. This is an Amazon one. They make a good product. It's like $10. Well worth every penny. Look at that. Now that's the way you want it chopped. It's a much better job than a spatula. Okay. Now that's looking good, and I think that's good enough now, cooked enough to put in the sauce. So we're gonna take this now, and we're gonna put it in the sauce. I'm probably going to cook it in a slow flame for about 40 minutes or so. Very nice. Mix that in there real good. Oh yeah. Looking good. And I'm even going to thicken it up a little bit more with some tomato puree. And the only thing I'm going to add to this is a little sugar, about a teaspoon of sugar, because you know, tomato sauce is acidic, and you want to make sure that you get that acidity out of there. Wow, this is frozen. When you're working the camera, it's not as simple as just regular cooking. It's all frozen, but it's gonna come around. Come out pretty good when I'm finished. But we'll see. The next thing is to take the lasagna noodles and get them ready. I'm just going to throw them in a pot, boil them for a little bit to get them soft, not too soft. And then I'm going to put cold water on it to cool them down. And then they're ready to work with. So let's do that. Well, now it's time to assemble it. If everything was pre-made, it wouldn't take that long actually to make this meal. I guess it'd take you about an hour. But it's not, so it's going to take a bit longer. All right, here's a beautiful sauce, and it is a nice looking sauce, you have to admit. You have to cover the bottom with that. You don't want the lasagna noodles to stick. That's a meat sauce too, and it looks good. And we're gonna put 4 layers. Just like that. Four layers. And then now what we're going to do is put meat sauce. Looking good. 2 of them will probably do it. Some white sauce. Just like that, just spread it out a little bit like that. Still a little too thick, but not bad. Okay. Mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle it. Never have too much cheese. And then a little Parmesan cheese. And like I said, this isn't exactly Parmesan cheese. It's 3 cheeses. Parmesan, Romano, and Asiago, or Asiago. Okay, then we're going to put another layer on top of that. And these I haven't pre-cut, so we'll see when I do it, because this pan's just a little bit too, I just break it off like that, yeah? I got that. See, when it's not stiff. It's hard to cut this when it's stiff. It'll break on you. Okay, and I'm going to repeat this process until all the 4 layers are on there. Well, here's the finished product. Now all we have to do is to cover it with tin foil. The oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. And this has to stay in there for 45 minutes. Then we're going to take the tin foil off, and we're just going to broil it for about 5 minutes, or keep an eye on it so nothing burns. And it's done. It's a heavy sucker. Alexa, set a timer for 45 minutes.
Good afternoon, Thomas. 45 minutes, starting now.
Well, I put it in the oven for another 5 minutes on broil, took the tin foil out, and there is the finished product. I have to wait about 15 minutes before I could take a slice and have something to eat. But it looks yummy.